Friday night, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th in Arizona.
And it is,
Lucky Arizona.
and it's good luck for us because we get to be on camera.
Every day I'm alive is good for me.
Yep. So, happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Hope you guys had a great week. And going into a big weekend, we've got tons of stuff going on like normal. Big, huge project that I'm just finishing up now. You guys will see in this next week, maybe. And
Are you post a video on it?
yeah, but don't say what it is.
No, I didn't say
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I said it.
It, yes.
All right, if I call it
You
it.
can call it it. Just be careful. We don't want to spill the
Oh,
beans.
crap. Hold on.
Uh-oh. We're not plugged in. No sound.
All right.
Okay. So is the sound better now?
So I should have put it over here.
Tessa is the one who filled you in?
Can't
Good.
hear you guys.
Good. Good. All right. So we've got lots of things going on. We had a couple really good videos this past week. One interview with Johnny, which turned out really, really well. That was actually filmed like, gosh, a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. Johnny, just a super good guy.
Where was it filmed?
Here.
Oh.
He was in Las Vegas with a convention. He owns a pharmacy back in Virginia, and he was in Las Vegas and drove down, rented a car and drove down. Super good guy. I don't know where you were at the time. You didn't meet Johnny when he was here, I don't think. Anyway, super good guy.
So that's probably off on the tractor somewhere.
Probably. Anyway, that went really well. And then Wednesday we did, that was actually Wednesday. Monday we did the hummingbird demo out of that piece of cherry. And that went really well too. Got some great comments on that. So,
Oh, Todd says, you said your dad was sleeping.
Oh.
During Johnny's interview, you were sleeping.
I think you were sleeping.
Oh,
You were.
okay.
That was one of your.
That sounds like one of my afternoons.
Yeah.
Take my little nappy.
Speaking of hummingbirds, we got hummingbirds out on the feeder.
Yeah.
That's the first one I've seen for a while.
Yeah, I saw some out there this
Well,
morning.
he's a fat dude. So anyway, thanks so much for all the great comments and what?
Oh, I'm just looking
Yeah.
to get people from all over. I'm going to tell you where some of them are from.
Good.
LaSalle, Ontario, Warsaw, Ohio, Florida.
You say Ontario, is that California or
No.
Canada?
No,
Canada.
Canada.
Let's see, Alabama, Montana, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Crazy.
Let's see, Greenville, Pennsylvania, Oak Harbor, Ohio,
Tulsa, Arizona. Yeah.
Colorado, Tennessee, Maryland, Yorkshire, England, Illinois, North Dakota, Maryland, Valdosta, Georgia, Ashland, Ohio, North
Wow.
Carolina, Brighton, Ontario, Mansfield, Ohio, Virginia, Idaho, Nebraska,
That's really neat
That's
that
so
all these
cool.
people
Canada, Indiana.
spend a Friday night,
Yeah.
you know, watching us and listening to us.
Nobody else has a life either. They're just like us.
That's amazing. That truly is.
So yeah, sorry.
I'm truly amazed. Even in
We're humbled
all
by
the
that.
things that I've seen in my lifetime, this is really an amazing time.
Yeah.
This drives
Yeah.
me crazy.
And the fact
In
that
85 years, I've seen a lot of stuff.
and the fact that people in Europe, like I know there's somebody there from the UK. It's 2 a.m. Saturday morning over there in the UK.
Brad N
Yeah.
says you are my Friday night.
Well, thank you, Brad. We appreciate
Better
that.
than TV, Jamie.
All right, so first thing I want to get into is I've been getting a few questions, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago about when you have your router. This is a little Makita router, the RTC. I can't remember the exact. I just put this back in service in my sign carving. It was dedicated to a certain operation in the shop, but that operation got discontinued. So now this is back in my arsenal for carving signs, and it really is a good little router. The RT0701C. It's a really good little router.
Must be what, around a half a horse, something like that.
No, it's bigger than that. I think this is 6.5 amp.
Oh,
So
okay.
that puts it over a horse,
Yeah.
maybe a horse and a quarter.
Yeah.
So this
That's
is
a lot of power for a little package.
for the trim routers. This is second in power rating compared to the 611 because like the rigid is 4.5.
Right.
You know, so they go down from there. This is 6.5, so this is close to the 7 amp that the 611 is. But anyway, I digress. So here's the thing: people keep asking, how far do I put the bit in? And there's kind of a standard thing out there that you put your router bits all the way in till they stop, and then you pull them out just slightly, and then that's where you tighten them up at. And that, that could possibly work for this one, but it certainly would not work for the 90 degree. It wouldn't work.
Let me see
That
if I can, hold on, get a,
It definitely would not work for the 90 degree. No, I don't even know because then if you just pull it out just slightly, you've got it right there, and that is in way too far. So remember this rule as far as sticking your router bits all the way in and then just backing them out slightly. That's generally for general woodworking, like when what most woodworkers use routers for is they're doing edges on tables, or they're doing laminate trimming or whatever, but they're not carving signs with it. So carving signs, it's a whole different thing. You've got to have vision. Even at this, where this is tightened up there, if I were to put that in my router, have I got points?
you got, looks like hunchback pulled down at the back.
I've got points going on. All right. So if I put that in the router, and then I try to set it at, say, 1/4 of an inch. What happened to my router bit depth gauge? I set this at around 1/4 of an inch. Then that's a problem, because then you have no vision in there. The armature is almost right down on the wood, and you don't really have vision on what you're trying to cut. So the rules as far as sticking the router bits all the way in and then just backing them out a little bit, that just does not apply when you're trying to carve signs, because you've got to be able to see what you're doing. So the cool thing is, all of our router bits, these Amana router bits, they actually have a line on them, and I've talked about it a couple weeks ago. There's a little line that shows exactly how far to put the router bits in. But if you're using a router bit that doesn't have those, just remember, you got to have vision. So even at, let me see if I can find that little line. Yeah, it's right there.
Well, actually, a half inch in the collet is sufficient. If you can go a little bit more, that's fine. But as long as you have a half inch, you have it tightened up, that's sufficient.
Yeah.
Adeo, I don't know how to say the last name, from Brazil.
Brazil. Portuguese down there. So yeah, just remember that, guys. You've got to have vision. So, and most of the time we're not making big, huge, heavy hog cuts unless you're using a spiral upcut. And then if you are, put that thing in there a long ways. But most of the time we're cutting soft woods. We're not cutting, super hard woods. We're not taking any more than 1/4 of an inch at a time.
Tessa says her router bit has a little yellow dot.
As far as how far to stick it in there.
Yes, yeah.
Well, then that's good. As long as you always just got to have to kind of, from a common sense standpoint, you've got to have vision to be able to see. You can't have this too close down to the base plate. Otherwise, it's going to obscure your vision, and you're not going to be able to see what you're doing. So with the carving liner or the profile bit, they're super long, but with the short ones, you just have to have that thing sticking out there enough to where you can see what you're doing.
And once you get used to this, then it just comes a second nature.
Yeah.
but it's something that all the new people have to learn. So
Yeah.
it's,
So if you're
most of you carvers, you know this already, but this is mostly for new people.
right, yeah. So you really need to have that vision. Anyway, I hope that kind of clears that up for, huh? Oh, I thought you said something. So anyway, I kind of hope that clears it up for you guys. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. So I'll get this stuff out of the way, and we'll move on to the next.
Well, I'll ask later.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the second thing is, Scott Gillette, one of our guys, he has the cordless version of this, which is the XTR01. And he was asking if the base plate for this router fits the cordless. Well, I did some research online, and from everything that I saw, it looked like it would work. So I went ahead and sent him one. He sent me back a video, and absolutely. So if you happen to get the XTR01, if you happen to get one of those, which is the cordless version of this, our base plate now, we know our base plate works for it. So that's really good that Makita didn't change the whole pattern on the housing.
And I'll go into the file and change. I don't have that. I don't have this one listed on the bases, but I'll go in and change the wording on the bases so that it'll show that it'll fit that one.
So that the cordless is on there.
Yeah,
You've
it's
got
on-
you've
it's
got
on
this
the
one.
website.
Yeah. Oh, you put it on there? Yeah. So the base plate for the XTR01, which is the cordless version of this, is on the website now, but soon we'll have the description on here as well that it fits both. It's kind of like the Porter Cable 450 and the 611. You know, they're applicable for both. Anyway, so in case you guys had any
Yeah, there's a
questions on
couple of
that.
others
Yeah.
that fit two different routers.
Yeah, the
but-
rigid. I believe the rigid is the same thing. Oh. Okay, I just got to get this out of the way. Again, this isn't my favorite router, but it is very powerful as compared to some of the others, and it does work really well. Okay, so that's that. And again, thank you, Scott Gillette, for sending me that video, making it real clear that it does fit. Wow, got sawdust all over the tablecloth.
Yeah, that was a pretty good video for.
Yeah, he did a good job on it. You
yeah,
saw it.
did a
I
good
sent it
job
over
on
to
that,
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice and clear.
Yep. Did a great job. All right. So, the big announcement. We have never done this before, ever, but we are running a 48-hour flash sale on our layout template sets. So, for the next 48 hours, starting in about 2 hours, starting 9 o'clock our time, which is, about 3 hours from now, 9 o'clock our time till 9 o'clock Sunday night, we are running a 48-hour flash sale on all of our template sets, 50% off. So the sets of 10 are $25, so they're now $12.50. And at 9 o'clock they'll be on the website. You can go right on there, and they'll be on there. We do have a couple sets that are less than 25,
Yeah, like
but they're
the Jets are 15, so they'll be 7.
because there's only 6 of them, and there's musical notes that I think there's only 4. But anyways, 50% off of all the layout sets, 20 different layout sets. So if you guys are interested in any layout
It
sets,
doesn't apply to the other merchandise. It doesn't apply to the
just
bases.
template sets.
no,
But
just the template
template.
sets. Yes,
Okay.
and an extra bonus for premium members. You guys know that this month you're getting 10% off. So you'll actually get 10% off. If you're a premium member, you get that 50, and you'll get another 10% off of that. So that's a really smoking deal. If you guys need some template sets like the Christmas set and whatever. I think there's a Halloween set.
Halloween.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is goes into effect in a little less than 3 hours. So if you guys have questions, let us know.
No, the Live to Ride is not a set. There is no Live to Ride set.
Oh, nice try.
And the doesn't apply to individual,
No, just the
no
sets.
individual
Sets.
templates, just the sets.
Just
Yep,
the sets.
just the sets. Yep. And they're all on there.
I've just gotta go in and make the changes on the,
Yeah, so that'll go again 48 hours. And I'm actually, you guys might see some Facebook. I'm going to run a Facebook campaign for the next 48 hours. You guys might see that actually, in your
no,
feed.
not letter sets, just the layout sets.
Layout templates. These. Yeah, no.
Larry Carey says, there goes my extra beer money.
So anyway, if you have questions, let us know. But you'll be able to see that shortly, just a couple hours after we're done here. You know what? I got to do. That's what I forgot. So I'm going to do one more demo. So I've had people talk about the random orbital sander, and
My favorite.
the fact Vicky loves this thing. But if you're using this to sand off signs after you've sprayed them, it can be a little problematic. Meaning that what happens is these things will sometimes catch on outset letters. So here's what I've learned. I just did this sign. In fact, this sign is going to show up. You'll see the making of this sign on Wednesday. And if you watch when I'm sanding this off, I'm actually using. Why am
Because you're always covering your face.
that's covering my
Yes.
face?
Well,
Okay.
it-
All right.
close enough.
Okay. Anyway, so
Well, that can be a bad thing.
yeah, that's a good thing. This is prettier than my face. Anyway, the piece of maple, this thing was super hard. Anyway, so what I found is that if I try to, and I'm hoping this comes out. What I found is that if I sand, rather than sanding the whole thing at one time, what happens is this wants to try and catch on these outset letters. But if I sand half of it, the lower half first, this way, and especially if I tip it slightly and use that leading edge, this edge here, so I don't want to put it on that sign, but rather than laying it flat, I'll tip it just slightly and I'll pull it that way, going, pulling from left to right. You're right to left, I guess. But pulling from my left to right, then I'll flip it around and I'll pull it that way. So again, I do the rough sand with my belt sanders, but I do like this for putting a nice finish sand. This is probably like a 220. I do like this for putting a nice finish sand on it, but you really have to have a light touch and be careful with, especially with outset letters. Inset letters not so much, but with outset letters. So I found even when I was sanding this, I kind of learned to just sand the top half first using that leading edge and then flipping it around and doing the bottom half, and it gave me a really nice finish, and it didn't want to catch on those outset letters. So play around with that, guys, because this really is a nice finish sander, but you really have to be careful with a light touch on outset letters. So I hope that's clear. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
To you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Made sense to me.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. I know we've got some questions.
Good.
John from Tiny Woodshop said bike scoring the Green Bay this week.
I know. Yep. And I'm really encouraged by that because Green Bay only scored 10 points against the Bears. They're low scoring offense, and Minnesota did really well. They scored a lot of points the other day. So I'm encouraged by that. I'm hoping they do well.
Ian Levine is here from Yorkshire.
Hey, Ian. I think I saw he said something on Facebook today.
All right, I'm trying to find questions, so give me a second here.
Bring the questions, guys.
Keith Davenport says, good evening, watching from the workshop tonight.
Hey, Keith. Thanks for joining us.
Let's see. Butch White says, can't wait for Saturday's video.
Yep, we got it all loaded up, ready to go.
I got a couple more planned.
Yep.
We'll be filming them, and then Eric will be posting them.
And you guys, just a small kind of a little spoiler for tomorrow's video.
That's funny because it just came up across the thing. It says Butch White says any hints for tomorrow's video.
So here's the thing. Dad's actually he's actually out in the shop, and over the years, we've had tons of people say, what's your shop look like? And we've always kind of stayed away from that. But you're going to get a glimpse of actually our shop, a couple different areas of our shop. Dad's running the drill press, actually doing a job. So,
And my next one will be, again, it'll be in the shop, showing some of the equipment on something that I do on a regular basis.
All right. Let's see. Sandra Callanan says, "What about a collet extender?" When you were talking about the router bits and the, she said, "What about a collet extender?"
you can use a collet extender. If you've got, we never have really used that. The only time we've ever used a collet extender is when we had our big 3.5 horse router out in the shop, and it's half inch shank, and it reduced it down to 1/4 inch shank, so we could use our 1/4 inch router bits. Other than that, you could use a collet extender. I just don't find it's really necessary.
I don't trust them. I was a machinist for a lot of years, and on lathes and chuckers and other equipment, whenever you're using a collet extender, there was a chance that it could fail, and you'd lose the tool, and whatever it was touching, you'd lose that. I don't like collet extenders. In an emergency, I'd use one, but if you don't need one, I wouldn't recommend it.
Stephen Coyne says, "Straight router bits can go all the way. Anything like a round over bit, that type should be pulled out 1/8 of an inch."
Again,
Well, it depends on the length of the bit.
Yeah, and that would, in regards to that, Stephen, is if you're doing edging, if I'm using the 45-degree chamfer bit, I will stick that thing in, almost all the way. So if I'm doing edging, but that's a whole different thing than if you're actually having to have vision to carve the sign.
Ed Dolan says he's in Hawaii.
Yeah, I talked to Ed just the other day.
Okay, Bill Jones says, "Do you sell the metal tumbler?" No.
Oh, we don't, but we might get into that at some
that's
point.
a whole
Right
other
now, that's kind of in the works. We might get into selling tumblers.
Yeah, I've got a laser, and I'm getting a rotary attachment. Once I get the rotary attachment, something like that, I can actually set up and engrave it. So
Yeah.
we might do something like that in the future.
Chris Fugit says, "Did you ever come up with the Chevelle template?" No, I haven't found one that will work yet.
Chevelle. Chris, you got a Chevelle? So do I. What year is your
We've
Chevelle,
got
Chris?
Kim Nash from Perry Sounds, Ontario.
Kim Nash?
Kim Nash.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think, Kim, you're going to see one of your signs on Monday, Sign Carvers of the Day. Monday's video is Sign Carvers of the Day, and I think, Kim, you've got one in there.
Ron Williams says, "That's amazing. Glad I didn't place my order yet. You guys are awesome. Thank you." Bruce says, "I hope you're ready for some serious computer time, Vicki and Dave, on the lasers for cutting out all these templates." We got a daughter that does that, and granddaughters. Matthew Bean says, "How do you become a premium member?"
Okay, Matthew, so here's the thing. If you go to makeawoodsign.com, just go to that's our website. Over on the right-hand side underneath the banner, you'll see it says Premium Member. You just click on that, and that takes you right to a page where it gives you all the details of premium membership, and then right at the bottom, there's a big yellow subscribe button.
Can you just go over what is a premium?
Yeah, and so the benefits of premium membership, generally it's 5% off of all products, discount. This month it actually happens to be 10% off because we're running a special. But the big thing is free router bit sharpening. Any bits that you buy from us, we will sharpen them for you for free. All you have to do is pay postage. back and forth.
Except the spiral.
Except for the spiral. Thank you for, I was just about to say that. Thank you, Dad.
You're
So, but any of the other bits other than the spiral, we will sharpen for free, whether it's 1 bit a month or it's 50 bits a month. The free router bit sharpening. That's the biggest thing. You also get access to a 45-minute video that's a $20 video. You get access to that. You get a free monthly template, layout template every month. That every month it's different that Vicky makes up. So
Or you get them when you place the order.
yeah, you get one free every month, but you may not receive it until you place an order, and then we throw it in there. So we don't send it to you by itself separately. We send it when you order other stuff, or you send your router bits in.
So if
to
you
be
don't
sharpened.
order for 3 months, then when you do order, there'll be 3 free, the premium member free
Vicky keeps,
templates in there.
yeah, Vicky keeps track of all those.
Alan Brown says, congrats to Dave on his solo vlogging debut last week. Looking forward to more senior wisdom.
Thank you very much. And I'll be making more videos. I get several planned.
Tessa says, having a hard time covering up my scratches from the sandpaper after using a 60. I go down to 120 and even take the 220 over it, and they still have some major, I think, scratches.
Okay, so are you using a belt sander, Tessa? You're using a 60. Probably a belt
the
sander.
220 should take the scratches out.
Yeah, you might be putting a little bit too much pressure on that with that 60. You know,
Chris, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Chris says he's got a 72 shoot on.
72. I've got a 68. Both great cars.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's all right. 72 is a great style. I'm going to see some of those next month when I go to Barrett Jackson in Las Vegas. I'm sure there'll be some there.
All right.
How come you didn't invite me?
I haven't even bought my ticket yet.
Oh,
This is the first time.
Rudy Molina says, what's up, Dave, Eric, and Vicky? I got an orbital sander from Harbor Freight. It's like $35 and it works great. So
Really? Excellent.
yeah.
Orbital
The Harbor Freight tools are good tools. They're on
Some
top
of
of the
them are.
line, but for the price, and especially if you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with Harbor Freight tools, except they're not made in the U.S.
Rex Deal says, hey guys, watching you live from Maui. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge.
I'd like to be in Maui and you sitting
Yeah.
over here in
Yeah.
Arizona.
I wish we were over there with you. Yeah. I will take exception to the only tool that I've ever bought from Harbor Freight that I absolutely will not recommend is the little angle grinder. Actually went through 2 of them, and they were Central Machinery, I
Central
think.
Machinery.
They were junk. Now I've used other stuff that's Central Machinery that was okay, but the angle grinder, junk.
Yeah, I've got a couple
I
of-
hate them.
I've got a couple of Central Machinery tools that 10, 15 years old and they still work.
Yeah.
But I don't use them constantly. I just use them when I need them.
Yeah, but the angle grinder sucks.
Dave
It's terrible.
Stover says Eric was using a different DeWalt orbital a while back. What model was it? Looked like it had a better handle. I think it.
Yeah, that was the disc sander. I don't know the model of it right offhand, but it wasn't a random orbital. It was a disc sander. There's a huge difference.
Big difference.
Huge difference. So, and it is a beast. Vicky absolutely loves that thing. In fact, you guys will see her using that in about a week and a half. You'll see her using that on a video. It is a great sander. But I can't. It was around. I think it was around $20 or $30 more than this one. But I don't know send me, if you want to send me an email, I'll look it up and find the model number for you. But it's a great little disc sander. Oh, it's great. Is that bothering you?
Bruce Peters says, do you have any Army vehicle templates? No, Bruce, I do not. Tessa and Bruce. Ed Dolan says, I found by putting an O-ring on the bit shaft to the top of the bit will provide me enough space to prevent the shaft from coming loose.
The O-ring on the top of the shaft. Okay.
Is that down in the armature or is it wrapped around the bit?
I have heard.
If it's wrapped around the bit, then it's spinning at 28,000 RPM.
No.
That's not a good idea.
I'm pretty sure it's down. It's a small O-ring that goes down in the bottom of the which gives it. But again, that's fine.
You could use a BB for that. It'd be the same thing.
That's fine. But I still, I want my router bits in most cases sticking out further than that, so I have better vision.
Your sister, Renee, says, I love Barrett Jackson auctions. You're lucky, brother.
They come to Vegas every year. Vegas and Scottsdale, actually.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, sis.
Pat McKenzie said, I saw a tip on the random orbital sander. You guys put an 8-inch or 12-inch disc on the smaller sander to
Yeah.
keep from digging in.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. I've seen that, but I haven't tried that yet myself. But I did see that somebody had done that, put a big disc on that little one because, it's hook and loop, Velcro basically. But I haven't tried that myself.
So
I can see where that probably would be an advantage. If you've got one of these, give that a try. I think we ought to try it
Yeah.
so we can confirm whether or not it's a good idea. But basically, in my mind, I haven't done it, but in my mind, it's something that I definitely would try.
All right, so Don Borden,
Yes,
him and I have been going back and forth through email.
I'm sure.
He says, hi from Hemet. Okay, Vicky, let the slinging fly. Long story. And he says his brother had a 1969 Chevelle.
Ah,
And then Bert Graham is here, and he says the Canuck says hi from Chilliwack, BC.
he'll be here in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you got some car fans out there, you ought to have Vicky point a camera out there at your pickup.
Oh, Eric's pickup.
Yeah, that's a
Wish
cool
I could get a
looking
better
one.
picture of it. Tessa says she loves my videos. Thank you, Tessa.
Tessa's sucking
says,
up.
Tessa says, I'm waiting for Dave to pop Eric in the chest and keep playing with those whatever's in his hand like my mom used to do.
So, somebody saw
Are
us.
you kidding? I'm 85 years old. He's got 2 black belts.
Three
black
actually.
belts.
But
I'm not going to pop him in the chest for nothing.
Randy Noble said, I had a 69 SS, wish I still had it.
I've-
Bruce said, I'm sorry.
I've kept my 68. It was the second car I ever owned, and I still got it. It's not running currently, but it's coming.
I keep telling him, put some money into it, get it running.
Yeah, I got to
It's a
fix
shame to
my.
have it sitting out there covered up all the
I got to
time.
fix my Chevy. Get that done first.
That's
But I'm
it.
getting close. So that's it, guys.
Rachel and your sister are talking.
Are they? They're back.
Leonard Davis says, take a picture of your car, rapid resize it, and carve it.
I have thought about that. My pickup out there. But yeah, the Chevelle. That's coming. But one thing at a
Clark
time.
Ford just chimed in.
Hey, Clark. Good to hear from you.
Tessa says she's a black belt in Taekwondo.
Ah, good for you, Tessa. That's terrific. That's a different style than I study, but that's a great style.
Thank you, Julie.
So, remember, Monday is the sign carvers of the day. And there's some really, really cool ones in there. And then Wednesday is the complete demo on carving that City Boy sign. And that maple, man, that stuff is hard. I know there are a lot of different varieties of maple, but that particular one, whatever kind of maple that is, it's hard maple. It was difficult.
Julie K. Sorry, these guys just popped in.
Yeah.
Julie K says, Vicky, thanks so much for the resin videos. You rock. You're welcome, Julie. Tammy Gonzalez Eastman from Oklahoma just came in.
Terrific. Hey, Tammy.
Squid Bro
Squid Bro.
He's, I guess, had a 73 Camaro with a 327. Renee
Nice
says,
car.
I remember when you got your Chevy, brother. I sat in it so many years ago.
Yep. Yep.
Chris Pruitt says, I'm a black belt in eating. I can tear up some food.
Probably with both hands.
Ian Levine said, hi guys, if you're going off the air, have a great weekend. I must get my carving over on SCOTD. Jim Clark says he has a black belt in Walmart.
All kinds of arts out there.
Okay.
All right, you guys, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We always have a blast when we do this, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time and tuning in and sharing some time with us. Hope some of this was helpful. Don't forget the flash sale starts in about 2.5 hours, 48 hours. It's over 9 o'clock. So all of these times are West Coast times, 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, get your orders in
Yeah.
before the deadline, because after the deadline, Vicky's not going to make any exceptions.
No.
Yeah, they'll be
Well,
changed. They'll be changed.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, there's no trivia question, no giveaway tonight. We've got a flash sale going, so that's your giveaway.
Yeah, we'll have a giveaway next week. I'm sure
I
we'll
didn't
have
come
a
up with
giveaway
anything
next week.
quick enough, Tessa.
Yeah, giveaway next week.
So.
All
All right, guys, give us
right.
thumbs up.
Thanks so much. Questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Eric at makewoodsign.com. And
If you haven't subscribed, please do.
yes,
Don Gordon said, go Raiders. Don Gordon, go cry in a corner.
Raiders won last week.
I don't care, they're whiners. Okay, anyway,
All right.
say goodnight, Gracie.
All right. Good night, guys. We love you. We'll see
Good
you.
night.
We'll see you on Monday.
See you next week.
Bye.